Hello, you all. I am Baron Baptiste. Welcome to Disrupt the Drift. This is a place where we can tell the truth and the truth can be told. Today, we are going to talk about pain. You have pain in your life. I have pain. We all have pain. But the question here and what we're going to talk about is, what do you do with pain? Do you ignore it? Do you numb it, anesthetize it? Or do you use it to grow? Because pain can make you bitter or can make you better. Let's get into it. David, real quick, you all, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave comments. It helps us push it up into the algorithms. Share the show. Please share the show. It's how we grow. David, what's your take on pain?
Man, I got to tell you, I've got so many great quotes today on the topic of suffering, because pain and suffering are synonymous. You can't separate them. Although there are some kind of people that like pain, but that's a different kind of thing. I would have to start with something that Khalil Gibran said. He said, out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. And I am a person who bears many scars because from the time I was very young, I grew up in Houston, Texas. We had a swimming pool. I spent a lot of time in the sun as a result. And then I lived in Hawaii when I was 13 years old, and all the way up through my 20s, I was out in the sun way too much. And I've got just massive skin cancer scars all over me. And then I had a melanoma in 2009. They took a half an avocado out of my shoulder. That's how much meat they took for a freckle-sized melanoma. And that's how much they have to take. But the point is that there's a certain point at which you come to grips with what you know you have to face. And that is if you have to go in like I did for having something frozen or cut out, which has happened to me almost 100 times, maybe more. At a certain point, your mind adjusts to the inevitable. And in the adjustment, see, you can resist the pain. This is the difference, is that you can embrace the pain because part of that pain is good for you. It's getting rid of something that your body desperately does not want or need. But at the same time, if you resent and resist that pain, then that is where it gets deep into your being. And then the struggle is really what's causing the pain. It's not actually as much the pain itself, because pain comes to an end at some point, unless it doesn't. But for the most part, our bodies recover, and we need pain, no gain. That's my first thoughts on that.
Yeah. Pain is a part of life. Pain and suffering is a part of life. It comes with life. Yeah, you just described how you've had suffering and pain, like physical symptoms of pain. And I think it's important to distinguish. There's physical pain. There's spiritual pain, emotional pain. You could say there's mental pain. It's vague, what's mental pain? But when we look, anxiety, depression, doubt, all those things are painful. You have challenges in life, painful experiences, loss in life. But the question is, in these different kind of forms of pain you have, so where does it live? Typically, eventually shows up in your body. So if it's emotional, psychological, spiritual pain, the body is the container, the vehicle, the space in which we move through life. And so pain becomes this feedback, you could say. Now there's pain that it's your fault. Your ways of living, your ways of being in life, super reactive life. You eat crappy food all the time. You don't move. You don't take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually. You have pain, but then there's pain that's outside of our realm of control. Like you were describing, form of skin melanoma, right? Skin cancer.
Yep.
And there's certain things that, could you have avoided that? Maybe, probably, if you stayed out of the sun. But we don't live like that, right? All the time. So there are things that happen to us that are outside of our control. But then the question is, what do we do? So pain is a form of feedback. You're using the term embrace the pain. I like that. But another way is just being with the pain and learning, what is there to learn? Is there something I'm at the source of causing to have this in my body? Aches, pains, lethargy, resistance. And if you add mental resistance, you resent the pain, you resist the pain, you start numbing and anesthetize the pain, popping pills to not feel the pain you feel, then what you're left with is more pain. But I like what you say about embracing it, stepping forward toward it. What is there to see here? What is there to discover? And then the bottom line is, what do you do with it? If there's something to learn about how you've been at the source of living life in ways that are causing pain, there's learning there. There's an opportunity to shift your ways, change your ways of being in life, relating to life. And then if it's pain that's out of your control, how do you be with it?
Okay.
But I'll say this, resenting it, resisting it, what you resist persists. You only get more of the same. But I would say it's not just more of the same. It's a intensified level of pain. It gets stronger, not weaker.
Two things. Physical pain is, and let's just go back to when we were children. Children experience pain differently than adults because children don't know what to anticipate. If they fall and they get hurt and they bump their head or their knee or whatever, they have an immediate reaction based on the experiential nature of falling. It's like the cause and effect. It's a perfect relationship between cause and effect. They scream, they yell, they cry, and then a few minutes later, it's like nothing happened. See, so they don't have an extension of that pain and that reaction that continues to reverberate. We call that, in adulthood, post-traumatic stress. A lot of times people have bad experiences, but they never get over it from that point, right?
They have painful experiences.
Right?
And they don't get over it.
We're just talking physical pain. Yeah. But the physical pain then does something else to us. The side effect or the side manifestation of that is mental or emotional pain. Now, what I learned when I was 3 years old, and I'll show you my finger. You see how that finger's cut off right there?
It's a shorty.
It's a shorty. 3 years old. My finger got cut off. I didn't know how to deal with it until my mom started reacting very badly. And because my mom was not watching me and my finger got cut off and she turned white. And so what was my reaction to her? It wasn't my reaction to the pain. It was my reaction to my mom's reaction.
But that experience that right there made an impression on you.
100%.
And altered your experience of pain. Yeah.
And so for me, I didn't know how to interpret what had happened to me yet because I wasn't all there. I was just a little kid. But here's the interesting part of it is that as the pain of the wound went away, I went back to being my little child self. And I was playing in the dirt. It was always getting infected. I was doing everything a little kid normally does. But then I learned something else. I learned that pain is not permanent. Pain is most often, if not almost always, temporary. And so what happened then was I became a daredevil. I became accident prone because I knew that no matter what kind of pain I was going to have, that I would go through it and then I would come out the other side. Now, that was a bit of an overreach for me as a younger person because I could have lost my life. Because pain didn't really have that much of an effect. I have a very high threshold for pain. Some people have a 0 threshold for pain. Some people don't like even the slightest poke of a needle. If somebody wants to poke a needle in me, I don't even notice it. I don't
never
either.
Like needles.
I don't like needles, but you know what I do? I turn my mind off to it.
Yeah.
And I go, you done already? But you see,
I've learned to do that.
Power.
Yeah.
You have the power to turn your mind off. But if you don't, then you are the effect of that cause. And that cause has a rippling effect that goes on and on. That's called trauma.
Yeah. And it's speaking to our response to pain, our way of relating to pain, our reaction to pain. As Khalil Gibran said, the pain you feel is the breaking of the shell that encloses you. But it's not that
Your
simple.
understanding.
It can be the pain you feel can be the breaking of the shell that encloses you.
Yeah.
But that requires a certain attitude, a certain way of being with pain, where you allow for the pain, but yet you're not resisting it, not resenting it, not getting upset, not adding to the pain. I think that's the default. We have pain, and then or maybe it's a painful experience with some person. Some person betrays us, or they do something they shouldn't have done, or they didn't do something they should have done, whatever, or they speak to us in a way we didn't like their tone. Okay, so we felt some pain, hurt about that. But then our reacting to that, we start adding a whole story around it. We go down a whole rabbit hole. And that just pretty soon we're so far away from the original source of pain. We've gone so into our imagination and blaming, faulting, resenting. We get further and further away from the breaking of the shell, the discovery that is the opportunity for us in a moment of challenge, a moment of difficulty. But it requires us to get present. We have to get present. There's the body keeps score. Okay. Are you present to just what your body's experiencing, the body sensations, body feelings, but how's it showing up in your body? Over the years, I would do these boot camps, my trainings that people come in, and there's a strong physical component, physical yoga practice. And you go for a group of people would come in for a week. People by the third, fourth day of doing this really intense yoga practice, that you would think they'd be in more pain. But what people start sharing is, I've had this low back pain I've been living with it for 20 years and it's gone. And then I'll see those people months later, years later. I'm like, did the back pain come? They're like, no, it's gone. It was gone and it hasn't come back, because some energy got moved out, but they also let go of some resistance, maybe resentment, that was the glue that was keeping these physical pains intact. Now, sometimes it's a structural issue where the pain is more structural, but you do have some say and some power over pain, not just living with it, but also realizing, wait, I'm reacting and dealing with this pain, or numbing the pain, just taking painkillers or Advil or what have you. I'm not learning from it to therefore change my ways of operating, changing my habits, my habitual patterns, whether it's movement, of eating, my spiritual way or lack of dealing with the pain. But pain is feedback. And sometimes it's in your control, sometimes it's not.
I love what Anne Rice said. She's the author who wrote Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
She says, there is an awful truth that suffering can deepen us, give us greater luster to our colors, a richer resonance to our words. Now, and Eckhart Tolle, or Tolle, I don't know how to say it. He says, if you have not suffered, there would be no depth to you as a human being, no humility, no compassion. Mm-hmm. So the pain that we experience, and I wanted to make another point about physical pain. Physical pain teaches you how to deal with mental pain.
Yeah.
Spiritual pain. So if you learn how to master, there's this amazing new thing that they're doing, and I think it's insane. It's called slap fighting. Have you seen slap fighting?
I've seen clips of it. It's hard to watch. I don't like it.
It is hard to watch.
And I'm thinking to myself, these guys are going to end up
with brain damage, right?
It seems out of the Roman Empire, feeding people totally to the lions kind of thing. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But think about these guys hardening themselves against these massive slaps that they take. Yeah. Right? They have one slap, and if they survive that one, then they go another round. So you have to realize that hardening yourself toward the slings and arrows of life, there's a power to it. And again, life rewards, and with survival, the fittest. Now, both physically
fitness,
and mentally.
Mental fitness,
and
spiritual fitness, a physical fitness.
The prepared.
Let me speak to that. So the physical providence, the body, training the body, is what I spent a lot of my lifetime developing in myself and training others, and an intense physical training regimen. There's an opportunity through the physical providence of building character, of building a mindset because you cannot strengthen your body or really change or transform your body without a level of pain. It comes with it. Now, there are people that say, oh, just lay around, sit in a chair, and if that's all you can do is sit in a chair, good for you. You're moving. But I'm speaking to people that are capable. You've got to go through it. There's a level of discomfort and a level of pain that you physically in a yoga practice or in training, whatever the physical training is, where you confront your mind and it allows you to discover potential, discover what is possible. Because typically we stop, and there are studies that show this, but typically people stop when they hit if they're using about 40% of their capacity is where they stop. The brain says, no, I can't do any more. But as you work through that, you start to discover you have so much more through the physical providence, through the physical training. But it starts developing a different access to mind and being. And then you start bringing that into your life, and with certain principles, like discovering where are you reacting. You just say no, or I can't. It's right there. When you're operating at 20% and you're like, nope, I can't handle this. It's too uncomfortable. Or you're anticipating, if you're putting yourself out in the world, putting yourself at risk, but it's really, as an entrepreneur, we fail. We just fail, and you have some wins, you have some successes, but more so you fail. And is there pain in failure? Kind of pain? Yes. But when you're committed to something, you will fail, but you don't quit.
Wait, I want to make a point.
And if you don't quit, ultimately, in the big picture, you can't fail. Whether that's in the physical providence or in business or in relationships.
Yeah.
When things get uncomfortable, that's when people want to check out. That's when they want to stop. That's where their old default beliefs come up. I can't, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart, like all that stuff. But there's something to work through in those painful moments with the right attitude, the right mindset that gives you access to discovering who you can be.
Elon Musk. Success through failure, not being afraid to make mistakes. And not only that, but actually anticipating making mistakes for the purpose of discovery. And this is what he does with his starships. He lets them blow up. He does all kinds of crazy things with those starships and with his rockets and everything else. And he learns every time from those failures. Now, if we took an Elon Musk approach to life and we anticipated that we would fail, but then did a deep dive into the failure. See, most people don't do that. They do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But Elon Musk, the Elon Musk school of thinking says, let's do this and find out how to change it, how to make it better. And let me tell you what Maya Angelou said. Maya Angelou said, I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
Seriously, the things that happen to you have to happen to you.
Yeah.
You can, if you live your life in avoidance of things happening to you, you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, I think when you have a failure, you make a mistake, things go awry, there's pain right there. But can you have the humility to say, wait, where did I go awry here? What decisions did I make? Where did I have blinders on? What are my blind spots? What am I not seeing? And you learn from that failure and you extract the gold from that failure, the learning. You bring that forward and then you leave all the rest behind, all the shaming, all the blaming, all the faulting, all the resenting. You leave all that drama behind. You take the gold forward and now you've got new wisdom to bring to the next failure. But you are on a bigger trajectory toward success.
It's a great point. Here's what Eckhart Tolle said.
To growth. Yeah.
Tolle. I don't know how to say his name.
I think it's Tolle. Oprah's guy, right? Tolle.
Oprah's guy.
Eckhart Tolle. Yeah.
Forgive yourself for not being at peace. The moment you completely accept your non-peace is transmuted into peace. Anything you accept fully will give you there. Anything you accept fully will get you there, will take you into peace. This is the miracle of surrender. In other words, he's talking about struggling with things. See, you're not at peace when you're struggling. You can't be at peace when you're struggling because they're two opposite
you're in
forces.
Pieces. Yeah, you're in pieces, not peace. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the idea that there's something that you need to surrender either to or surrender and let go of.
Not a time to get harder, but a time to soften, to get receptive.
Yeah, exactly.
To recover center and locate.
And I couldn't see this because I don't have my glass on, but anything you accept fully will get you there, will take you into peace. In other words, there's a path that you have to take to go to peace. Yeah. There's a door you have to open to go inside your home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, this is a good place to wrap up. Any final thoughts on what can you do? Oh, yeah, your book, Borderlands.
That's right.
Exploring the outer fringes of consciousness.
There it is.
Yeah, good.
You know why?
Where can people find that?
On my website at escapeyourmindsprison.com. But listen, like you said, we've only just barely tapped into the surface of what it is that we can perceive.
Yeah.
And I've got a formula.
Yeah. And I think the antidote is get quiet, get present, and notice when the brain starts, you have the experience of pain, you have choice in the matter. You have say in the matter of how you be with that pain. Now, it's not about just suffering through the pain, putting up with the pain. No, it's what is there to learn right here? What is there to discover right here? And maybe you don't know, you can't see it, but you have that kind of open mind to discover and to discover for yourself. And again, if it's a pain that's out of your realm of control, what you can discover is your reaction, your response to the pain. And that's being responsible, able to respond from wisdom, from a higher intelligence, from that inner knowing and that inner calm, that calm center of equanimity. And through there, pain can be transformed into a new you, a new way of being with life. All right, you all. Check me out at baronbaptiste.com. If you'd like us to respond to questions, I've been terrible about checking all your responses and requests for us to comment on your question, but please send them in at to Disrupting the Drift at baronbaptiste.com. Send any questions that you would like us to respond to and do a podcast on to Disrupting the Drift at baronbaptiste.com. Please subscribe. Like the video if you're on YouTube, leave comments. If you're listening on audio, please leave a 5-star review. Help us keep pushing this out. We can't do it without you. And until next time, keep disrupting the drift, keep aiming true, and peace be with you.